My name is Kristen. I'm a community member here at Center for Spiritual Living of Leesburg. And our theme as we open our sacred space is Living Everyday Wonder. Our month focus is on nature, and the title of our talk today is Naturally Divine. We're so glad that you joined us today. Please feel free to add to the chat or in the comments any prayer requests or celebrations that you would like to have included later in our service when we provide our community prayer, spiritual mind treatment, which is a form of affirmative prayer. We invite you to get comfortable and relax into this moment as we begin our service.
Please join us as we create our sacred space. We set our intentions of deepening into our awareness and practice of our 5 pillars of spiritual living by lighting this candle in our virtual world. Our first pillar is sacred study, represented by the divine quality of truth. We use this pillar to recognize the importance of an open mind and the power of our minds. The second pillar is affirmative prayer, represented by the divine quality power. This pillar honors the power of prayer in our daily lives. Our third pillar is meditation and the divine quality of peace. This pillar reminds us of the importance of meditation and the peace we feel when we quiet our minds. The fourth pillar is circulation and the divine quality of life. We know that the great law of circulation works in our lives. As we give, so shall we receive. And the fifth pillar is sacred service and the divine quality of love. This pillar affirms our call to be of service to our world as we see through the eyes of love. Let us close our eyes as we bless this sacred space and our time together. As we weave each of these pillars of spiritual living into our service today, may they deepen our own spiritual practices of study, prayer, meditation, circulation, and service, expanding our minds and our hearts to the 5 divine qualities of truth, power, peace, life, and love. We also bless everyone who made our service possible today and everyone in attendance. May the energy of love that is generated here bless everyone abundantly, and so it is.
And now, please, we are going to have a meditation
with Tamara.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. In honor of the title of our talk today, Naturally Divine, I'm going to do the Feel Good meditation. So I invite you to join me, get comfortable wherever you are. Take that to-do list, anything that you're thinking about, worried about, just set aside for now. It'll be there for later if you need to pick it up. Let's just take a deep breath in and out. One more, in and out. And just relax into this moment as you focus on your breath, breathing in and breathing out. You're so relaxed. And like I said, the name of this title is the Feel Good Meditation. So today we're just going to focus on feeling naturally divine, feeling good. And I want you to just think of something, focus on something that makes you happy. It might be a person, might be a place, It might be something furry or fuzzy if you're thinking back to our talk last week. Just put something that just brings you so much happiness. And just put a little Buddha smile on your face as you picture that person or place or thing in your mind. Now I'd like you to specifically think of a person who just fills up your happiness cup. Just when you see that person, when you think of that person, you can't help but smile. It's a joy to be around them. This person recharges your batteries every time that you think of them, connect with them, talk to them, hug them. Just take a moment, fill yourself up with that joy that you feel when you think of that person, when you spend time with that person. Just take all that love, all that joy, all that happiness, all that good feeling, and just kind of grab it in your mind and drop it somewhere in your body. Maybe it's a place that's feeling a little achy, a little cranky this morning. Maybe it's just your heart center. Just place that joy, that love, that happiness that person brings you somewhere in your body, wherever it needs that little bit of extra love and joy. And now I want you to think of a happy memory, an event, something that happened to you maybe recently, maybe a few months ago, maybe a few years ago. Maybe it was when you were a child. Picture an event. Mine's wrapped up with that last person I was thinking about. It might be a totally new experience. Maybe it's something that you were doing in action. Just go there, revisit that happy moment in your mind. I feel like Bob Ross right now. I'm painting a picture and there's nothing but happy trees and happy birds. Take that joy, that happiness, that delight that you had in that moment and that memory. And just once again, wrap that all up. Wrap it up with a ribbon, with a bow. Just drop that memory. Somewhere in your body that needs it. A new cranky spot. Your heart center. Anywhere that just needs that present of that past memory that brought you so much delight, so much joy, and so much love. If you're finding this meditation, this exercise challenging, just try digging a little deeper. Let it cascade. Let those memories, you need to find another one. Just let it bubble up to the surface. And then just cascade over you like a waterfall, covering every part of your body, every muscle, every cell. Mm. My memory has to do with water, so it's really easy to do this. Give yourself just that blessing of love and joy as you're remembering that you are just a divine being. Now take that energy that you've generated, that you've wrapped up and placed in your body, and join me as we let it move outward. It's almost like ripples. It's going out of your body, it's around your body, but now it's just moving outward like the ripples on a pond, and it's filling up the room, still radiating, shining out of your body. It's going beyond the walls of your home or wherever you are, covering the immediate area where you live, where you are at this time. It's just spreading, radiating out like those ripples. It's covering your state, covering your country. It's almost like you're a lighthouse, and this beam just goes further and further and further. Just it's covering the world. You have so much power, you have so much light, you have so much divine love to share with the world. It starts in you and it just spreads. Take a moment and just feel that. It feels so good. It feels so right. Now, because we have other things to do and a fantastic musician who's ready to go, just take a deep breath and return to this place and this time. But know those memories, those feelings, they're right here. They're always inside you. You can always call them up whenever you need to take a little time out and do this meditation for yourself. Wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. Take another deep breath and join us as we welcome Leah.
Thank you so much. Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. A fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Every blossom in each tree knows exactly how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Stars when you shine, you know how I feel. of the pine knows how I feel, because freedom is mine. That's exactly how I feel. And this old world is a new world. It's an old world all for me. And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good.
Woo! That was amazing. Thank you, Leah. I could have lived with another 5 minutes of that song, but it's okay. We have to go on, don't we? Oh, thank you, Tamara, for such a beautiful meditation. I could just see you coming into your own with leading these things. And can I just express my gratitude for this community, how everyone is coming together to make such a multifaceted service with so many beautiful voices and faces contributing minds and hearts and spirits. And we are growing and just, it feels feeling good. But see, I'm not the singer, which is why I shall not sing. But today I get to talk to you about our divine nature, because we are naturally divine, as the title says. And so how did we come about this? How do we come about being naturally divine? Because in some teachings, we're taught that we're naturally, wait for it, terrible, sinners. We're horrible people. And only by some magical words or ritualistic things could you ever hope to become divine. And so we know in this teaching that there are many misunderstandings of the overarching truth. The overarching truth that we are part of the divine. We've always been part of the divine. And okay, so it can be a little distracting when you get someone in front of you who seems to be not part of that. But Mahatma Gandhi says, we must not lose faith in humanity. Humanity is an ocean. If a few drops of the ocean are dirty, the ocean does not become dirty, which is another way of saying God is more than this. Yes, God is right where that person is who seems to be less than awesome, but it's the universe, the divine intelligence that created all is more than its creation. And so the idea that, oh, there's something that came about that appears to be negative in this moment, that means it's all trash. That's not the way to go about it. It's one of those things where we get to say, oh, is there a place where the divine is not expressing itself fully? It's not being expressed fully in that situation. Well, let me take that into prayer. And let me hold the highest ideas in my mind about that situation, about that person, about that event, and then allow spirit to flow the way it does, because maybe it's a blockage there. We don't know the higher picture, but what we do know is that even those things that a human can do to intentionally inflict evil upon someone else, well, the divine can elevate that and use it for good. And some people will say, oh, does that mean that it's preordained that horrible things have to happen in order to get good stuff? And I would say that creative intelligence that spun the stars and the galaxies across the sky would probably, I'm just with my little brain thinking that it's not like, and I have to add a certain amount of yuck on purpose so that these people get it. No, there's no need to intentionally provide yuck. And I say yuck because I don't want to say other words that just generate ideas in your mind that then you're distracted by. But think about it. Anything you don't desire, things that you don't want, did the divine say, I know, I'm going to send something that they don't want so that we can get something they want, or so they could get what they need? A lot of people will have you think that. But for me, I kind of believe with my soul that human beings make choices. Those choices have consequences. And sometimes those negative consequences will come into our lives. Heck, sometimes it's us. Sometimes the call is coming from inside the house. We made that negative choice and we have consequences. And yet the divine, the infinite order of the whole universe says, I can use that for good. I see what you did there, but here, let me help you, through you, as you, figure out how to use this, even this, to elevate not only yourself, not only your spirit, but those around you. And it's all about how we react. It's all about us entering into an environment and choosing how to be. We get to choose how to be. And I mentioned to you a couple of weeks ago, the same exact thing could happen to 3 different people, and they'll have 3 different experiences. And dare I say, one of them might use it to build something awesome from, whereas the others may use it as a reason or an excuse to just feel defeated and stop trying. And so I just know that there's something bigger going on in every moment, and that is what's calling our inner nature to unfold and to become better. And we don't just sit and hope life turns out okay. No. In fact, we talk about, I'll look at my notes here for a second. So in us, we believe that within us, there is a divine nature that is taking part, that it not only is managing, this divine nature is managing the entire cosmos, but also we tap into that. The higher part of ourselves is that. And so we consciously then create our lives. We come to this kind of teaching so that we can bring that awareness forefront, right in front of us. And we can say, all right, life, how am I going to choose to show up today? We're not going to just unconsciously let stuff happen and hope it turns out okay. We're going to wake up, stay awakened, and consciously, with intention, choose every moment that we remember to choose. I mean, I get on autopilot too. I get on autopilot and I have to be snatched up, as they say. By my own attention will drift, and I'll just get into this mundane, gotta do this, gotta do that. I'll complain a little bit and forget to do stuff. And then every now and then I wake up, I catch myself and I go, hold up. Have I set my intention today? Have I connected with the divine? Do I know who I am for sure? Because then when I remember that, then my attention comes back to my work, and my work now is a higher work. It's a higher purpose. What I'm doing is serving the higher good instead of, oh, gotta check that checkbox. And it's a slight vibrational shift, but it changes everything. In fact, Reverend Michael said in his Sunday service on March 7th of last year, he says, as the alchemist of your own life, find a bit of frequency you want to experience and place your attention there. As it becomes your perception, live from there. So he says, I'll repeat it because it's kind of cool to hear it the second time. As the alchemist of your own life, find a bit of the frequency you want to experience and place your attention there. As it becomes your perception, live from there. And so that's kind of cool. It's the idea of, we're not just showing up on the planet like a less complex being. Less complex, I don't mean anything like less intelligent. That's kind of a misnomer. I know human beings are supposedly the most intelligent being on the earth and so forth. I just would like to say, let's talk about less complex beings. For example, a bird. A bird is less complex in terms of its nervous system, the structure, the brain, and all that stuff. But yet a bird knows how to build a nest. A bird knows how to take care of those eggs. A bird knows how to migrate if that's the kind of bird it is. And so there are certain things built into its DNA that helps it get along because it just knows how to behave. And it was built in, and it, I'm sure they don't have classes. They probably don't go to school to learn it. And it just sort of is passed down through the genes. And so they tell us that as organisms with more complex nervous systems, as we notice as we study this in biology, more complex nervous systems have a greater capacity to learn new responses and thus adjust their behavior to suit their environment. So what does that mean for humans? Well, if we are typically more complex beings, then we can learn from our environment and we can shift our behavior based on our experience. We don't have to wait for evolution to go 3 generations down to figure out, oh, we probably don't need a tail or whatever. No, we can learn through classes, through meditation, through insight and visioning what suits us. We keep doing that. And if we realize what we want, like Reverend Michael said, let's grab a little bit of the vibration that we want to experience. If you could get a little tiny thread of it, that's enough. Keep your attention there and let life unfold, and life will sort of vibrate around you at that level of intention. Because let's admit, human beings are social creatures. And we send out a sort of a signal that says, here's who I am. And then those that are attracted to us, they vibrate at about that kind of a signal. And in other words, like the old adage, you become like the people that you hang around. You become like the people that you hang around. Whoops. Okay, everybody take a moment, look around. Just close your eyes. Who do you hang around? Are you happy to be like them? Think about it. Now, since for me, it's you guys, of course I'm happy. But listen, you become about that. And before you say, well, what about the people who need my help? I need to hang around some people who are not what I want, but then I can be the example that they can grow into. And I say, sure, go for it, but please go in there and make sure that you've got the strong vibration and you protect yourself from getting sucked in. And I'm sure there's a technical word for sucked in. Make sure you don't get sucked in so that you don't, now you're becoming like them more than they're becoming like you. And there's compassion in there too. Always compassion, never coming into a group of people with that high and mighty, I know better than you know, please follow me. We've already seen how that could go wrong. If you've ever had your door knocked on by someone who wants to tell you the truth and show you the light because you sinner, you've been doing it all wrong, we know how that goes. So instead of coming into a room where you feel like you have something that these people probably need, just go in and love them and be the example and know your truth. And then speak your truth lovingly if asked. But really, I think people feel more who you are rather than what you're saying. So if you have to use too many words, then it's probably not the right message. That's all I'm thinking. So I'm saying all that to say this. We humans are we think we're advanced. And we think as we learn more and more about the universe, we're starting to figure it out. But I hate to say this, I feel like Neil deGrasse Tyson said he feels. Now, I don't agree with everything he says, but for this one example, he says that he thinks that we may not have the capacity to understand all this. The more we find out, the more we're confused. The more answers we have, the more questions get generated. And the mystics call this, no one can know the mind of God. cannot approach that. We can't. Our brains, our physical organization cannot comprehend that. We get glimpses and we feel good about those glimpses, but it's hard to stay there. Maybe it's our biology itself that's keeping us from approaching and maintaining that illuminating oneness where you lose all sense of self, you merge into the one. There is no separation, and you're vibrating, you're one with all life, and it feels so good. We've had glimpses of that. And then we come back into our 3D nature, and just Neil deGrasse Tyson says, hey, well, we might never. And then he makes this analogy. Maybe there's another type of being, call it an alien, who would come visit us and say, oh, aren't they cute? Look at what they can grasp. The same way we look at monkeys or chimpanzees. Do you know the chimpanzees that they've trained that can do the work of a toddler? They could stack up blocks, and they can maybe put the square peg into the square hole, and then the round peg into the round hole. And we're thinking, wow, that chimpanzee is really intelligent. Well, yeah, they are compared to us, who we've put at the top of the food chain. We're super intelligent, the most smartest. And then the right underneath us is that chimp. Now, mind you, we're only 1% DNA different from that chimp. And that chimp can do these things. And we're like, yay, look at you. You're just like maybe a 2-year-old, 3-year-old. What if there was another being that is 1% better than us, he says? And what if that being comes and visits Earth and says, oh, they look at us like we look at the chimp. And he said, what if we rolled out our smartest? And that would be Hawking, Stephen Hawking, most brilliant scientist. Rolled him out like he's the one. He gets it. He can do stuff in his mind that the rest of us might hope to be able to read someday. And we bring him out as our smartest. And this next group of people, these aliens, so to speak, they would say, oh, look, their smartest is like our toddler. Their smartest is doing what our toddlers do at 3 years old. And he said it keeps him up at night to think that there is a being that's only 1% different from us in our DNA, that gets it more, that is able to more understand, I say, the mind of God, or the universal intelligence, the whole cosmos, even more crystal clear for them, similar to the way we see that chimpanzee. And so I'm looking at that video, and I watched it recently. I was like, yeah, that kind of explains it, because the mystics have always said, if you lay your eyes upon the divine directly, you'll explode. I'm sure they didn't say it in those terms, but you know what I'm saying. There's a lot of teachings that say you cannot directly look at, experience the divine for a long period of time. We just don't have the DNA. What if there's something that does? And then, so I'm in the shower and I'm thinking about all this, and I'm ready to talk to you guys. And I was like, oh, maybe that's what happens. Maybe those beings are here. Okay, follow me, because this is really, okay, it's like sciencey, but not. Listen, when I was listening to Neil deGrasse Tyson, he was talking about dimensions. 0 dimension is a dot. 2 dimensions is one dimension is a line, right? So a line is 1-dimensional. A square is 2-dimensional, length and width, and a cube is 3-dimensional, length, width, height. And so we live in a 3-dimensional world. He said that if there's a 4th dimension, that it would be 8 sides with cubes on them. And you don't have to go with that, but he said, listen, if you took a 2D thing and passed it through a 1D thing, it would look weird. It would look like a spooky experience. I'm saying all that to say this. Some of us can see things like there are paranormal experiences. People see people who have passed on to a different life. People see angels and guides. And there are those among us that can see things that typical humans can't see. Maybe what they're seeing is that other dimension, the fourth dimension, where, get this, those people are that 1% DNA further. That therefore, we can't see them with our normal senses. Those that have extrasensory perception can see things we can't see. Maybe they're just in another dimension. And this is why I'm thinking, as this all came to me, I'm in the shower and I'm like, whoa, that's pretty cool. So what I guess I'm saying is that we don't have to have all the answers be provable to us. What we do have to have is our internal understanding of how we fit into the big picture. When science can explain religion and religion can give illumination to science, is what we're doing right here today, then we blend that together and get a feel for it. We approach it with our internal awareness. And then we rise from that with an understanding. The reason I'm saying all this to you is that please do not discount your experience on this planet. This is the only way, your experience on this planet is the only way that your light gets into the world. We will not take away from our experience in order to fit in. We will not take away from our personality, take away from our God-given talents in order to fit in to something that hasn't really been able to explain anything. No. We let ourselves be baffled and be amazed by what science can show us. And we let our hearts and our mystic insides be inspired by those religious, spiritual leaders of the past. If we are allowed to take the stuff we love, the stuff that resonates with us, and we get to put it into this beautiful concoction called life, our personal experience of life. And we get to spend every day steeped in it, every single day. And we cannot forget that that's our work here. So to sum up, yes, we're all divine. We're all divine naturally. We don't have to do anything to come by this divine experience, a divine nature. We just have to wake up to it. And now that we're awake, my question is, what you gonna do with it? Every day, every moment, we allow ourselves to awaken again. And if we fall back into a groove and we're not thinking, we're just doing, we allow ourselves to wake back up. We take classes, we do our meditation, and we do our daily practices, whatever they may be, to keep us intentionally living the life that we are meant to live. And we allow every piece of information to come in and see if it fits into the way we experience the world. And that, my dear friends, is how we change the world. We unfold, we show up, and those that resonate with us get it, and we keep going forward. So yes, it's a beautiful world. It truly, truly is. Now let's go into prayer. Let's see if there are any other requests for prayer. I do have 3. So let's just go in knowing that God is good. Life is good. It's ineffable. I cannot explain it all, but I do know this. There's one presence that multiplies itself in and through all existence. That one presence is the divine. It runs in and through and as all of us. It's making its way through each and every experience, no matter what shows up, there it is. That's the divine right here, right now. There's no lack of it, and there's no begging that has to happen. It's just here right now. What you gonna do with it? So I say right here, right now, I am part of the divine. Everybody who is within the sound of my voice, whether live or repeating this on a taped version, I speak my word that right where we are, the full presence of the divine, not a piece of it, but all of its presence is available everywhere. That's what omnipotent means. And omniscient means knows all. There's no mystery. The divine doesn't wonder. It just knows. It just is. It is all knowing, all powerful, and all everywhere present. And so I speak my word as I understand this oneness for myself. I also know it for Heidi, that right where she is whole, perfect, complete. Her whole organism, whether it's in her nervous system or the respiratory system, that this experience that she has that appears to be sick, that is now healing itself. That the divine is now righting whatever is out of alignment, and it's coming into alignment right as I speak. I speak my word for Christy's dad, Kenny, and partner, Gail, that right where they are, there is the presence of the divine. Spirit is right where they are, expressing its wholeness and realigning every situation, whether physical, spiritual, mental, whatever is happening right there is being used right now for a higher purpose. It's being used by the divine, it's being healed by the divine, and it's revealing something even more amazing that heretofore has not been shown. And so for my nephew Chakudi as well, that unfolding in his life continues to just vibrate with health, wholeness, wellness, alignment, and re-energizing of every cell, every action and organ of his being. He is awesomely healing perfectly. And all others across this planet, I just know that right where they are, that's where the divine is, and that slowly or quickly, the awakening is occurring right now. So as I watch this in my mind's eye, I give thanks that the word that I've spoken has already begun to reveal itself as truth, because the universe always says yes. And so all I have to do is just be grateful, thankful. I'm so, so grateful for these and more blessings. I release my word into the law, knowing it is already happening, and so it is. And so I am, Ashe. And Leah, take us home.
I appreciate so much about what you shared, Charlene, and how it echoed through the simple appreciation of Tamara's meditation earlier. This is just a song of appreciation for all of our divine experience of being. So divine to sing a melody, it's so divine to sit beneath a tree, it's so divine to stand in awe and see the mystery of life. So divine to sing a melody, it's so divine to sit beneath a tree, it's so divine to stand in awe and see the mystery of life. Divine, 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 and it's all mine, it's mine, it's mine. Divine, 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 it makes my heart shine. What makes a bird song so sweet? And what makes the sun shine so fine? What do I see when I look into your eyes? It's just that mystery of life. Divine, 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 and it's all mine, it's mine, it's mine. Beneath the tree, divine. beneath the tree. It's so divine to stand here and see the ocean of light. So what makes a bird song so sweet and so? What makes the sunshine so fine? What do I see when I look into your eyes? It's just that mystery of life.
Ooh, that was amazing.
So good. So good. So thank you for the talk and for the music and for the meditation. They were all just so good today. Now is the time to bless the donations that are shared today. At CSL Leesburg, we're a tithing community, and we believe in the law of circulation. The donations bless everyone, those who give and those who receive. Your donation goes out to help our center, our CSL home organization, as well as organizations that support our vision of helping to create a world that works for everyone. If you look at your screen, you'll see that there are many ways to give. It's easy to find a way that works best for you. You can go to our website, cslleesburg.org, and click the donate button. You can text it, Cash App, mail it, PayPal, all those things. We thank you for your support. No matter how you're giving, take that gift physically in your hands over your heart, or mentally just think about that gift that's going out, and join us in our affirmation of oneness. The presence of spirit within me blesses everyone I meet, tends to heal everything I touch, brings gladness into the life of everyone I contact. And therefore, I'm a blessing to myself, to humankind, and to the day in which I live. For announcements, what are our announcements? Well, on Tuesdays, we have Dream Study. And if you're interested in attending those, you can just drop in. You don't need to be having any prerequisites, just a dream, or be willing to learn about how to analyze your dreams. And on Wednesday, we normally have 7 p.m. meetings, but we're taking August off to enjoy the last part of our summer. They probably will start again in September. Hope to see you there. It is our 8th anniversary picnic. If you live in the Leesburg area or nearby, we would love to see you there. And the address is on the flyer. It's at Tuscarora Creek Park. And you can see that address there. And it's Saturday, September 24th from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. You can RSVP by September 15th and bring a side dish. There is a suggested love offering. Kids are free. It's up to you about how you'd like to give. And more info will be sent via Evite. And now join us for your closing affirmation. So put your hands over your heart and say, I am love.
I am love.
I am love.
Now point at someone near you on the screen or a picture or nearby. You are love.
You are love.
And now put your hands up in the air for some love sprinkles, knowing it's all love.
It's all love.
And if you can stay for a few more minutes, feel free to join us as we share our pearls. Those are like the little aha moments we've had during the service that spoke to our minds and hearts. And if you're a visitor, please stay and meet and greet with us. We'd love the opportunity to talk with you. And if you have to leave us, just know that you will have a day that we hope will be filled with love, joy, blessings, and the intention that you have set for yourself. Thank you for joining us today.
Woohoo! Okay, we're off live.